I want you to look at your left hand, and I want you to follow as it rotates backwards like this. So watch your hand as it rotates backwards like this. You see that? Okay, well done. So just like a train going in reverse. Okay, stop. Now look at your right hand, and I want you to cycle them forward like this, like a train going forwards. Alright? Well done. Stop. Now, watch me. Left hand go backwards. Good. Right hand go forwards. Good. Left hand go backwards. Good. Right hand go forwards. Good. At the same time. Okay, stop. I'm going to give you 1 minute to practice. Let's see which team has the most members that can do this. Ready, set, go.
Oh, my brain.
Alright, stop. Let's see which team we go first. Which team would like to volunteer first? No volunteers? Let's volunteer. Ready, set, go.
Kanan.
1, 2, okay. 2 and a half. Okay, 2 out of 5. Fantastic. Well done. Okay, next team. Ready, set, go. Congratulations nonetheless. Look at that. Okay, last week. Ready, set, go. 2, 3. What is that? Alright, 4 out of 6, not bad. Okay, welcome back everybody. Thank you for coming back nice and early. For those of you who had breakfast already, well done. For those who have not breakfast, we will break at 9. We'll break at 10:30 for makan later. Yeah. First off, can I please have our friend Puan Noain to please stand up? Okay. If you notice, goodie bags on the table this morning, and she did not have time to explain to you. That was from her. Can you explain to us the significance of this? What happened yesterday, and why you give it to us?
Okay. My sister had a kenduri last night, so I told her already that I got this class and I cannot miss it. I cannot help her with the preparation, but I can come for the makan. And I noticed that she still got this goodie bag, so I asked her, "Can I take some for my friends?" I said, "How many? 200 or 300?" Because it's 2 or 300, no, not enough. I said, "No, it's only 25. My goodness, the thing lah. Even though it's 25, but I need to carry it in a box. And my sister
so much.
And the staff there is very kind. And I asked her, otherwise I got to carry up to my room. Can I leave this thing here? I'm attending a training here, and I want to put this stick. Tomorrow morning I will come. She said, yes, no problem. So this morning when I go and collected the bag with the trolley, pinjam trolley here, and then certified by HRBF. So we have to do a presentation. So I chose to do on colors, you know, the effect of colors, how it affect your mood, the situation, and then for royalty, there are certain colors that you are not allowed to wear if you come to their function. I stayed in Kuantan more than about 20 years, and I was involved with this royalty because at that time I was the secretary to the Pahang Bar Committee. I'm a lawyer, by the way. So I was also involved with the royalty until I know what colors can you wear. And for Pahang, I can say that you cannot wear yellow and purple. Okay.
At the same time? Yellow and purple at the same time or both?
No,
Either
both.
or.
Either or. Yeah, you cannot wear yellow and purple. I mean that's all Sultan. Now if they have changed it, could they change the Sultan already? Not sure. Then Johor, you have not seen it's dark blue. Dark blue. So last time also, if you attended a wedding, a Chinese wedding, if I'm not mistaken, you cannot wear black. Correct me if I'm wrong. Even Malay also, but nowadays I think they are more flexible in terms of colors. So I did a presentation on colors, and it was my Miss Rita, she was very impressed, and she was very happy because being a lawyer, I don't know what topic to do. It's something soft, And if I start talking about law, I believe everybody will get bored and sleep. So I just stop. And I believe color affects ourselves.
But only official functions, right?
Pardon?
Only official functions.
For what?
When you attend functions, government function and so forth, the colors.
Royalty. For royalty, yes. Functions, right? Functions, yes.
It doesn't apply to when you're public and all. Only a good function.
That's why you say Joker tak kena arrested.
And if attend court, even as a witness, please observe your dress code and dress color. Okay, don't wear red, don't wear orange, even as a witness, because we don't want the court to look like a circus. Although it's sport, I would say it's sport. Every day almost every day I wear black and white. I call it a chicha. Okay, so but I have no choice. Rather than you get rather than you get kicked out from the court, the way the court say that I don't want you to be in this court, it's not that you get out from my court. No, they will say I can't hear you. That's how it's very important. They say I can't hear you. Ada satu lawyer ni dia tak faham. I can't bila the judge cakap I can't hear you. Dia tinggikan so sir mana ni I can't hear you. Ya Arif, saya ni. I still can't hear you. So the lawyer by his side put his jacket, stand up, ask him and sit. Then said, Ya Arif, saya mohon kita tak sebentar. Okay. Then we sat down. His fellow lawyer told him that it's your baju, it's your shirt. Lelaki you cannot wear off-white. It has to be white. White. No off-white. No jalur. No stripe. Even though I know cannot. You have to.
As in I'm just wondering, they say like if the white shirt has texture, pun tak lepas juga.
You mean
The material inside and was.
This one applies to lawyers as well as the witness lah. But if you come as a public, you can wear any color, but it has to be decent. And like for witnesses, like blue, okay, no green, no orange, no pink, striking colors, no striking colors. Sorry, no. Okay.
So appreciation, thank you very much. So we have our resident image expert here, so you might want to talk to Mr. Aswad Asnawi as well. Yeah, he's right here. Angkat lah tangan. Macam ni muka. Okay, well, welcome back everybody. Thank you very much for that. We're going to come into our day 2, and the first topic of the day is what I pushed from yesterday, which is dynamic leadership. Now I'm going to step out of training for Okay, so typically if you run on time, what you do this morning is you do a day 1 recap. And a day 1 recap I can explain to you, we don't participants, you give them 5 to 7 minutes to brainstorm, sorry, wrong word, to remember what they learned yesterday. Syarat dia, close the workbooks. Do not refer to the workbooks, do not refer to any notes, do not refer to anything that they've written down. Why?
But
We say this. I want you to tell me what you learned, not what your workbook learned. Because if you studied everything from Darjah 1 sampai Darjah 6, from Form 1 to Form 5, anything in university, do you remember everything? No. But what do you remember? The one that was practical, the one that was useful, the one that could help you in life, correct? Okay? So, my philosophy is when people come for training, you get different levels of people. Some people will go, this is good, I know this already. This is good, I disagree with this. Hang on, this is good, man. And that's the one learning they take home. So don't feel bad if a participant says, Cik Ramli, saya dah banyak pergi kursus training leadership dah. Semua ni saya dah tahu dah. Don't feel kecil hati when that happens. Wait for that last part. Tapi yang ini kan, yang ni saya cari memang tak jumpa. Hari ni saya jumpa. Okay? So your amanah is to be able to complete people's life knowledge. And in some cases, they come and experienced people come for your training course, dah fantastic dah. They're looking for something. So sometimes, maybe it's not dynamic leadership, dia dah tahu dah. I've been doing this all my life. Maybe it's knowing people. Oi, I'm looking for this one. Okay? So that is the one that sticks in people's heads, correct? Same thing with you. You don't remember everything people taught you. Don't remember everything you went for every training course. But there's one learning, that key takeaway that you can take home. So when you do this day 1 recap, you get them to tell each other what they learned. Learn tau, bukan ingat. So you say things like this. Even if you don't remember driving a Mimble, alah yang buka garang tu, cukup. Because that's what stuck. Okay, we're not going for academics yet. Later on, bila dia buka balik, dia ingat balik. But right now, what actually stuck? And then, preferably, you give them flip chart paper with markers, and get them to document everything on the piece of paper, and you say go crazy. Everybody take one marker right at the same time. What happens? You got 6 people, so you got a flurry of activity early in the morning. Yeah. And then later on you put up, no, hang on, you don't put up, you leave on the tables, and you do what we call a gallery walk. You know what a gallery walk is? Everybody stand up, okay, move to the next table, and then you tell your team, you read together, you tell your team, okay, this is about this, about this, about you story tell to each other, and then you add on what's missing. You go, oh, ada benda missing ni, add on. Then you walk again, then you walk again, then you walk again, until you come back to your own table.
Sorry sir.
Yes.
That gallery walk means that, for example, our team, we have everything.
It's there.
Okay, we put
It stays there.
So we are the one that walk.
You are the one that walked there.
So we see other people's notes.
Yes.
Okay. Then we add on the notes.
Then you add on. So number 1, you read, baca. Number 2, you tell each other what your opinion is of what they wrote down. And then third one, you add on what's missing. By the time you get to the last one, you find it difficult to add on because the other teams have already added on something. So what I typically do is, for the first round, I give 5 minutes. Second rotation, I give 4 minutes. Third rotation, I give 3 minutes. Last rotation, I give like 1 or 2 minutes. Because why? There's almost nothing left to talk about, or nothing else to add on. So if you have a table of 4 tables like this, then you give 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 4. No, actually you go 4, 3, 2 lah. Because there's only 3 rotations. You got 6 tables, you want to speed up a bit because it gets a bit boring. Make sense? Okay, so we don't have to demonstrate that. But that's what I typically do when I have the time. And then you get them to tell the rest of the class what they learned. Try not to do this more than about 30 minutes. Okay? And then the rest of the time, they can do Q&A from what they wanted yesterday. Yesterday we did that. We did that yesterday. You ask questions while we're doing our training recap. Okay, I step back in. Alright, so first topic of the day is dynamic leadership. And first topic of the day requires volunteers. We're going to do an activity called crossing trains. And I need volunteers from every table. I need 2 volunteers to help me out to demonstrate an activity. Don't worry, because everybody has to do the activity juga. Everybody's doing it. I just need 2 volunteers per table to demonstrate for between. 2 volunteers. Okay. people? No, stand there for now. Every table 2 volunteers. Nobody's looking at me, that's amazing. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now, show appreciation to the volunteers. Volunteers, please bring your chairs and come forward. Alright, everybody else, come and watch. Okay, make sure you're sitting opposite somebody else. Everybody else, come and watch. Okay. Let me see your faces. Some people know this, some people don't know this, that's okay. But be assured, most of your participants will not know this. Alright, this activity is called crossing trains. PLS, what is it actually called? It's actually called traffic jam. I no longer use the term traffic jam because people have been Googling it and they found the solution. So I call it crossing trains, they Googled that report. Okay, so I've had to make some modifications. Can you push the whiteboard back a little bit so Mr. Titus can sit here? Okay. So, listen very carefully to the instructions. Yeah? Number 1, this is a train. This is also a train. This is the engine, this is the head of the train. That is the canteen. The canteen still again. I think canteen now in the middle. So this is the head of this train. That is the tail of that train, the caboose. This train is coming from Butterworth going to Johor Bahru. This train is coming from Johor Bahru going to Butterworth. By the end of this activity, these 2 trains will have swapped positions. Okay. Okay. So this train will be sitting in this chair, these chairs. This train will be sitting in these chairs. Okay. That's the first rule. Rule number 2. In order to get there, this train has to stand up and sit down, stand up and sit down, stand up and sit down, and move through this U shape. You're not allowed to cross over at the end over there. There's nothing there. So it must pass through this U shape. This is KL Central. In order to get from here to here, you must pass through this U shape. In order to get from here to here, you must pass through this U shape. So far so good?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3. If the trains get stuck in a traffic jam, it hits each other, and you cannot move anymore, you get stuck, you are not allowed to reverse. This is not like reverse, no, that's a word. Cannot reverse. Once you get stuck, you need to reset. That means duduk balik macam ini. You dah dekat nak habis dah pun kena reset balik macam ini. Alright? Number 3. Number 4, I have to introduce rule number 4 because otherwise you'll be sitting on top of each other. So rule number 4 is, anybody played checkers before? Damaji?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. In Damaji or checkers, red and black, right? Can red skip over red?
No.
Can black skip over black?
No.
Can red skip over black?
Yes.
What's the condition? There must be an empty space behind that piece. If there's no empty space, you cannot jump anyway, correct? So that's the same with these 2 trains. This train, a member from this train can skip over a member from this train, but cannot skip over your own members. Make sense? Okay. Do you understand?
Yeah. Can skip.
Yes.
Yes.
Similarly to that train, cannot cross over one team.
Correct. Okay, so whenever you ask your subordinate, do you understand? And they say yes, don't believe them until you say, show me. Okay, show me, do you understand? Okay, so who's the first person? Yes.
Excuse me.
I don't quite understand the
Respect.
skip part.
I mean the skip part. What?
The skip part. Okay. So macam Damaji, hitam boleh lompat hitam,
Tak boleh.
merah boleh lompat merah.
Tak boleh.
Ini hitam, ini merah.
Okay.
Therefore, you cannot skip your own team members. You can only skip their team members.
That is after we cross. Okay, understand.
That's right. So what's happening right now? He's simulating in his head Faham tak?
Yes. Fully understand now.
Sure.
Yes.
Show me.
I cannot move
Right.
to that chair because he's same color.
Okay, so who can move that?
It's only him,
Alright.
right?
So,
Example, right? He move.
Okay.
Then he can skip.
Why can he skip?
Oh, because different color.
Okay.
He need to come here.
Alright.
Right.
Well done.
Example.
Betul ke ni?
Yes. I go here. So now next move, yeah, he also can skip because they are of two different sex. Huh. You pass.
Okay.
Okay, I understand now.
Kalau kau
But
move
still-
there, if you move there, he cannot skip too. So now he should be skipping there.
Alright.
Oh, too fast I move there.
Wow, interesting.
Boleh boleh suggest tak?
Boleh?
Yang pakai dark color atau with jacket and without
No
jacket.
need lah.
Up to you.
Kalau tak confuse nanti.
Kan?
Oh, boleh juga. Kam. Tonton dengan sana.
Oh, I tak ada jaket kan?
Apakah dark color?
Jaket dengan tidak ada jaket.
Oh, pandai.
Strategi.
Strategi ya.
Okay, so
Dah? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh nak let's start. Okay, let me move
Let's
first.
test it out.
Okay.
Oh, nak lepas okay.
Okay. So sekarang I move here. Now you must move here. Let's go.
No,
I dah tahu
the
dah
objective is
start lah.
all of us.
Yalah, okay, I can just say.
you
This
Dia
one
tak
here,
boleh.
you move here.
Dia boleh move sini.
Boleh.
You move here.
you start now.
No. Dia mesti.
Dah start dah.
If I move here,
Dah start dah.
dia skip.
Start dah. Start dah.
Tapi
Tak boleh.
Alright, stop. Now, what has happened? People on the outside, what do you see?
Okay.
Perfect in the first.
Huh?
Perfect in the first.
No strategy.
First round.
Okay.
Perfect.
Can I suggest? Sorry, can we discuss over this?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what has happened? What has happened?
They are the same team and they are sitting next to each other.
When there are two team members sitting next to each other,
Cannot there.
you have already crashed. So what do you do now?
Reset.
Reset.
Dah.
Okay. Oh, we can discuss now.
Yes, sure. Okay. Can I get another 2 volunteers, please?
Oh, to make more difficult.
Pulang ada tiket.
Can I get another 4 volunteers, please?
Serious ah?
Oh, yang ni.
4 volunteers.
Lagi panjang lagi susah.
Very much.
Yes, yes.
Dia
please.
ada prinsipalnya.
Let's move this out.
You kena ada flow dia. But I rasa seorang mesti jadi mastermind. You kena plan. Because tak boleh semua orang idea. You okay, you driving, okay? You
man, you're the one.
At least 2 lah. At least 2.
Betul master. Okay, kepala. Okay,
At
one
least
more
2
here.
they discuss.
One is the leader, one is
2 more there. Can I have one more please? One more volunteer.
It's tricky, but it's doable.
Okay, have a seat please.
Ada way.
2 volunteers.
Banyak lagi susah.
Mana orang jaket?
Orang dia
Kita letak perempuan.
tak cukup.
Tak cukup.
Jaket orang jaket dengan tak jaket.
Okay, pause for a second. What's happening? No. This is what happens when you have a startup of a company and you get new employees who have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
They see you from the outside and they go, oh, nice company, eh? And they come in and they have no idea about your processes.
Yeah.
So, well done. Keep going.
Okay.
Who want to be the leader? You. No, aku.
Okay.
Ya lah. Ini one leader. I want to
You
dominate
have
lah.
start first or?
There are the new stuff, so we need to discuss.
One of them must start first.
Okay. Who is the mastermind? Mastermind. Okay.
Definitely he must go there.
Okay. Just listen to one instruction. Okay.
And then us? Ni yang critical part.
Okay.
Maybe you move there. Maybe lah.
Maybe.
Then I move in.
No,
you move there.
Oh, selang-selang.
Then you move here.
Okay. Cool.
Then you move there.
No.
You have to go this way, right?
Yes.
You have to go
You
this way.
have to go this way.
Okay.
Boleh, tak boleh.
Okay, boleh.
Dia sama tak boleh dah.
You dah sama dah wrong.
Dia kena
Reset.
Okay, we have to reset.
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 We have to reset. Because already sit.
Reset.
Ah, yes. Every time you are wrong, they reset.
Oh.
Remember, so
Sebab dia kalau
cannot
dia
see.
penting already.
It has to be moved. We have to move this way.
Okay, train structure is like a highway.
Can we actually from the other side to move first as well? No, it has to move from here.
The head of the train has to move first.
Yeah.
No, none of the other caboose can move in.
As long as there is no side by
This
side
one is
by
correct.
one thing.
Yeah. So
Right.
no side by side by one thing is a clue. Okay. Bawah jaket tak boleh duduk dengan jaket.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Betul.
Okay.
Correct. Slowly. Jacket move there. Correct.
The jacket move here.
Jacket move.
Yeah.
Line jacket perfect.
The jacket move.
Then
So,
just get back here.
oh, this is the confusing one. This is the challenge.
Now we need to reset again.
Alright, reset. Reset.
Why cannot? Dia jadi lompat.
Now, reset.
Okay, now we learn already. Okay. We should do better.
I like that. Okay,
Okay,
now,
we should do better.
watch very carefully. Can I have you move to the left a little bit? Bank Negara has come up with some new compliance regulations to be followed.
Whoa. They move to Central already.
They have moved KL Central.
TDS.
So now,
TDS.
these are the heads of the tail. That is the tail of the train. Solve this. Okay. I move here. Okay, I follow.
Sini ketika part.
Adakah saya pergi sini dulu?
No.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's him decide. Okay, you decide. We listen.
Yes, yes.
Saya rasa saya pergi
Yeah,
sini dulu.
you move here.
Okay.
I move
start
there.
again.
I move there.
Think twice
Yes,
before you
correct.
move.
I can
Okay, perfect so far. Great. I agree. Yeah.
He can move that.
Yeah.
No, you
No,
cannot.
no.
I move there now.
Yes.
Confidently. Okay.
Don't mind.
You move.
No. Slowly.
Tak boleh. Sebab kalau dia move, I kena datang sini.
We make a mistake. We make this mistake last round.
Oh,
Okay,
it's a
okay.
mistake.
Okay.
Okay.
Well done, team.
Di sini.
Yes.
Okay, sekarang semua sama-sama.
We got the rhythm now. Yes. We can make it. We can make it.
Hello. Because if you here,
He moves here,
Ah, you
then
move.
you're.
Okay. You move there.
Now I move there. Alright. Almost done.
He can move that.
Okay. So move there.
He can
You.
move that.
You move.
I tak ada sini, sebelah-sebelah.
You move.
Sebelah tak boleh.
Tak, dia sama. Itu rule dia. Kalau boleh, jangan sebelah-sebelah.
Correct. Oh, tak ada ghost
No,
Tak pernah lagi kita pergi.
You like?
Tak boleh, dah.
Tak, kalau tak percaya, kita serah.
Try.
Why not?
Challenge.
Dah start dah tu.
Dah start sama.
Tadi dah elok dah tadi.
Boleh. Just break the rule. Go.
Dah elok dah tadi.
Okay, pause for a second. People on the outside, tell me what's happening. Don't tell me what's happening with the game, tell me what's happening with the people.
We got confused.
Why are they confused?
Too many instructions.
One single leader.
There's no one single leader, alright, anymore?
The
Not
instructions,
think,
they
go
don't,
from
they
the
don't,
One by one.
they don't understand the instruction?
They don't understand instructions, okay?
They did not think properly first before making the next move.
They as a whole.
Yeah.
Everybody look at her.
Eh,
She just accused you of nothing. What else?
They did not focus?
Do you notice that there are actually four different social styles here?
Right.
And there are people who can see further than others. Walaupun belum jam lagi, tapi dia kata jam. Nampak? They can see further than others. Other people don't understand. They go like,
What?
Mana? Tak ada pun. Selagi tak jadi, tak nampak. Jalan je. So, can you see the dynamics of people happening in a company? Some people can see further than others because they have a very clear idea of the objective. Who are these people? Driving people know the objective. Dia tahu you lambat satu saat kat sini, memang tak dapat kat situ. So even though belum jam, tapi dah jam tak? Dah. Belum jam tapi dah jam. If you are in the ERL on the way to KLIA and you will arrive 5 minutes before your flight, will you make your flight? No. You know for a fact, duduk kat situ, walaupun it's still 30 minutes away, you know you're not going to make your flight. So, some people, out of these 4 social stars, they still have hope though. The flight will be delayed. So do you see how different people operate? Some people they see very clear, some people they go by faith. Some people they go by calculation. Some people just go by, I think I can persuade the student let me board lah. The challenge of course is how do you work with them when you are put under pressure. Your original self comes out and frustration sets in. These are your friends. You are kawan ni, but still frustrated. Aku cakap jam lah. Yang betul. Tak nak cakap. And we all fall into, we become individuals again. Right? Okay. So now, confirm, I'm telling you right now, confirm jam. The next move, whatever move you make will be jam. So what do? Okay, pause. There are some people who are getting frustrated tau. Dia asyik reset. Geram betul lah. Make sense lah. Tapi bila bagi dia jadi ketua,
Tak sense.
alright? So please reset.
How do you get the drivers, the ones who have foresight? How do you get other people to know better the aim? Yeah, you know how where to go, you know the direction.
Okay. So Farah has a very good question. Before we start, Farah has a very good question. When you say you, who's you? The driver.
The driver.
Okay. How do drivers get people to follow their vision? They force them to follow the vision. Because why? Where is the vision sitting? In the head. Dia cerita macam mana sekalipun orang tak faham. They kena visualize. So when you think about a new concept like design thinking, have you heard of design thinking?
Yes.
Why is design thinking important? Because it needs to get everybody onto the same page. That's why they build models. For a city, have you seen the model? Itu sahaja dah boleh jadi tourist attraction tau. The forest city in Johor is this gigantic huge model. Investors come to see. Okay, I want to invest this one. Why not just a photo? Why not just a map? Why not just text? Why not? Because some people need to see. Some people need to see. Some people need to feel. Some people need to touch. So when you understand that, then you understand, different people got different styles of communication, different people got different styles of thinking, different ways of processing that information. You sell like an expressive bagenda, put an analytical, they say, so what? Show me the data. Let me figure it out. That's what's happening here. You notice there are 4 people who are not saying anything? 2 of them are analytical, they're doing this. The other 2 are saya menurut perintah. Nak pergi mana sini? You know who you are. Amazing, the rest tiba-tiba mana datang email express driver tiba keluar. Your true selves coming out. So I'll give you one last opportunity. Okay? One last opportunity. Solve this as cleanly as possible. Communicate as cleanly as possible. The tip is tahan nafsu diri. Tahan your driver nafsu and allow people to talk. Tahan your amiable nafsu and actually give ideas. Don't keep. Nanti kalau aku cakap mesti dia kata dia tak bagus kot. Salah dia tengok. Kenapa takut salah? Cakap je lah.
You mentioned about design thinking.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know actually. I read, but it's all about design thinking.
That will be talked about.
Just
one second. It cannot be done in 1 second.
Okay.
It cannot be done in 1 second.
Okay.
So design thinking cannot be explained in 1 second because it's such a new concept.
It's a new way of
It's a new way of thinking about getting the results.
I see.
Right. Thank you. Okay. Jump.
I think we clarify one thing. If let's say this seat is empty banget.
Okay.
So empty
Empty.
you can move here.
Betul? Ataupun biar belah sana datang sini.
Itu kena ingat.
Tetapi kena ingat juga.
Tak boleh.
Apakah next action?
Ya, tapi that move can be done lah. That move can be done.
Macam tadi, dia move, pak, jam lah. Tapi orang tu boleh skip dulu. So tak boleh kosong terus pergi, tak boleh. Dia kena tengok pada next.
Kalau the requirement is there, dia boleh move. Kalau the requirement is there.
Okay.
Alright,
Consensus.
here
We
we
have
go.
only one leader. We just follow you. Okay? Seriously, that's the best way. But we can give idea to you. I think that's the way to do. Okay, please. By your honor.
You know what happens in, okay, everybody has worked before, everybody has worked, good work experience kan?
Alright.
We'll follow what you say. Lepas tu,
No. We have to trust. We learn from our mistake. Too many leaders is now.
pause. Now let's do a case study. Kan? You're the only one saying it. You're the only one. Really, look at their faces. Kita consult I pun.
No. Time constraint.
This is like the original joke of Pakatan Rakyat. Tau. Pakatan apa? You tak consult I pun I rakyat. Okay. So take it away.
Okay.
Now let's learn from the mistake.
What
did we do wrong this time?
We have too many instructions.
I mean,
Divided for this
Oh,
idea.
so
So
what you
the
have-
one part where here to moving here suddenly stop. That's the part where you're skipping.
Second one.
Okay. So you have to think what is wrong there. I still confused what is wrong. That's why I'm asking.
Before
we
the
start
move,
first.
kita confirm baru kita.
Okay.
One by one. Okay. So this one's the first.
will go first.
That one,
Yeah, do you agree?
This one.
Pass.
Remember, the concept is there is no same team side by side. For
Okay.
example, we have two choices. You can skip, you can go there. He can go there. But if you go there,
Stop.
That's
he
good.
should.
Okay, now that's
So
very
now we
concept.
have two choices again. You go here,
If I come
you
here,
go here.
yeah.
So which one?
Okay.
Ini yang
Okay, now.
Tapi
Now,
if he goes there, he goes here, then I cannot move start.
Yeah.
So
They will be
he
together.
should be there lah.
So you
Yeah.
come here.
Then you can go here.
Yep.
so I can see that you are the.
Okay.
You know,
So this one,
Yeah, you can.
no choice lah.
You can see.
Now, two choice again.
Two choice again.
Two
Relax.
choice again. It's either he or he. So who follow the rule?
Okay. Sekarang ni kalau ikutkan no choice lah, I got to move there.
Yes, that's the right
That's the
thing to
rule.
do.
Correct. Dia bila ada dua option nanti, we choose which is better.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan.
Another thing.
Satu lagi,
Silakan.
selain daripada dia kita tak boleh sebelah-sebelah, so bila dia berhadapan sama, so mungkin itu satu cara kot.
Maksudnya?
Jaket dengan
Bila
jaket.
bila berdepan ni,
Sama.
dia jaket dengan jaket ataupun non jaket dengan non jaket. Mungkin itu satu.
So kalau macam ni,
No, no.
Okay, sekarang the next move is sama ada
Okay.
dia ke sana atau dia ke sini.
Kalau
You can first, you can first.
He can come here.
doktor dengan tu dah tak sama.
Tak apa.
Tak apa, tak apa,
I
tak
don't
apa.
think that itu yang the first rule saja. It's only one rule.
You can.
If
Tak.
you come here,
Then the next move he will come here, then start again.
Yes.
Okay, so he must come here.
that's why if he come here, then you will
Start again.
or this will
Ini
go
start
here,
here.
start also.
That's
So,
where we make the mistake.
you go here.
I move here. Good.
So,
Two more options. Think about. Let the mastermind
this
think.
one go here, and then one can go there because not still not
What other options are we have? Two moves.
Only two more.
whether him here or
One.
if he
No,
moves
he
here,
okay,
okay,
no.
Cannot.
Okay, we just exact same.
Yeah.
Correct. Good.
Okay.
Now two more options. One.
He got to move here.
Because you and me different kan.
Okay.
Alright. Good.
now
Now you move here.
Yeah.
Move here.
that's the rule. So
Because he cannot come.
Tak boleh, boleh.
Betul. Kalian tak sama.
Okay, then you move there.
Dia
boleh move there.
Hold on. That's where we make the mistake.
No, he can move there. This is the confusion kita ada.
Okay, if I move here,
No, cannot.
No. You cannot move. If you move here,
if I
yeah,
move
it's
here,
me.
he will come here.
Yeah,
then
same
come.
color. Okay, so he move here. So he move here.
This is the rules yang kita
Yeah.
tak percaya.
Almost there. Almost there.
Now,
We can join this now. Slowly.
Sekarang ni, relax tu.
Like it or not, eh?
Boleh sama jaket.
Ah.
You are the only one lah, choice yang ada.
Correct.
Tengok sebab baju dia sama.
Tak apa.
Kalau
Sini sama.
Yeah.
Sini.
That's mine.
I pergi situ.
Sebab tak ada choice lain lah.
Kan, betul kan?
Sini.
Alright. We make it this time, insyaAllah.
Uh,
Jangan, semua ada.
Itu choice yang ada.
yeah.
Ah, okay. Itu dah choice yang ada.
You sit down.
So apa choice yang ada kat situ? Tuan, apa choice yang ada? Situ bisa atau
If you move here,
Tapi dia bukan dekat tau. Jangan gitu dulu. Decide.
Yes, betul.
Okay.
Yes, correct. You move there. Correct.
Okay, group consensus correct.
Okay.
Then you
Okay, so you move over there.
one more to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Sekarang.
Betul.
Kejap.
Dia kena lepaskan dia juga.
Kejap. Kita ada two option. Fikir macam tadi. The same thinking. First option is
Perception dia dah hadapan tak boleh.
tak boleh sebab
Ini sama. This is something. So dia lah kena pergi depan.
he come here,
Ah.
and then he can come here.
Yes.
Then
Ni benda
okay.
Then we are all done.
No, you
Not yet, not
you have to okay.
Kita tengok foto pada
I think that sama ada dia move here or he move here.
tak boleh.
He move here.
So dia je the only choice kan.
Okay, you move.
So sekarang ni choice-nya dia pergi sini atau saya lepas sini.
Ah.
Okay, choice kita ada.
You go. The jacket go.
Saya non jacket.
Takut gila rasa.
Choice dia kita have to think these two kita nak lepaskan ni. Start lagi ni. So now the option is I can move here. Same.
Dia datang
So
sini.
jacket datang.
Dia come here. Dia datang sini.
Jacket come here.
Okay, jaket datang.
Okay, so dia datang sini.
Yeah.
Then you move in front. You move in front.
Hey, you take hukum balik. Don't make this like almost there. Sabar. Think about
Ataupun dia ni ke?
Ah, dia kena move.
Kalau dia kalau dia macam tu lompat. Lepas tu
Aku boleh lompat.
boleh lompat.
Ah.
yes, you come here.
correct. Okay.
Okay, dia sama.
Betul. Yes. Alright. Now,
Jaket jangan gerak. Jangan gerak.
Ijaz move on.
Ah, kan dia kena.
Okay, you
I gerak.
move. Yes.
Betul tak? Titus di sini. Betul eh? Betul. Ada
Okay, dia dah betul.
Tapi yang confident.
Ini jaket.
Titus.
Titus.
Okay.
It's moving from the
Tuan bahagian sini.
Okay.
Yang ni jap.
You move.
Become the same shape.
It's okay. Same.
You move. I move.
Yeah, you move.
Yes, you move. Okay, ini masuk. Okay, jump.
One
jump.
Yes.
Ya.
Okay, you jump. Now we
Asma you jump.
Asma jump.
Okay, saya jump.
Then I jump.
Betul ke?
Yes.
Ada choice lagi.
Jangan. Okay.
Okay, sila. Sekarang tak ada choice. Satu lagi jump.
Yang jaket.
Jaket kami.
Jaket kena jump.
Then I
Siapa?
masuk kan?
Yes.
Dah confident dah.
Jam.
Titus masuk. Tuan.
Ada.
Okay. Jaket.
Bagus ada jaket tadi.
So you are now the last one, right? You are the tail.
Me.
Yeah.
Let's go here.
Okay.
Yes.
Dia confident pula ni.
Okay, so dah tak ada choice.
Now ya. Tiga apa?
Jam.
Jump.
You almost done. Sikit lagi. Jap.
Berada.
Correct lah.
Jump. Okay, jump.
Ah, berada.
We
Jump. Jump. Okay, Titus masuk.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, berada.
I go over there. I go there, right?
Yeah. And you go
Yeah.
do it. Right? What's going to happen now is we now have 12 subject matter experts.
Oh my god.
We're going to create 2 teams, and you will have only 7 minutes to solve the problem.
Same problem.
Same problem. But we're going to split you up into 2 separate teams. So now, both of you are going to create brand new companies, and you'll have 6 brand new employees. We will set up another one in the middle, okay? But because there's already one here, this one stays lah. So the first team to put their hands up gets to stay here. Alright, so this team stays. This team please stand up. Go and go over there. Set this up exactly 6 plus 1. Okay, sorry, 12 plus 1. And invite 6 people to sit with you.
Alright, you team. Who wants to join startup? Who wants to join startup?
Jangan panggil ladies, jangan panggil ladies.
Satu di sini, satu.
Alright, so dalam tim ni saya haramkan ini dengan ini bersuara. Ada suara? Sebab ini memang kaki saya buat saya terpijak. Okay, have a seat, have a seat.
Oh, ada ni. Okay.
Jangan lupa gerakkan dia. Okay, you have 10 minutes to get this done. Ready, set, go.
Go over here, right?
Okay, so the choice is either I move or you move.
You cannot move.
I cannot move.
If you move, you will skip, and then this one will be set. So you move.
Skip. Okay, so then we keep
You move, and then you jump. Okay, and then if you cannot move, so Majid will be the one moving. That's the choice we have. So it's either.
island here.
Yes.
Oh, that's smart, yeah.
Okay. Then I move here. Then you go here.
Alright, do you feel happy?
Yes.
Do you feel that you understand this game?
Yes.
Do you feel that everybody knows how to do this game?
Yes.
No. No.
Kami jujur. Now, what is the danger of having one person in your organization who only follows orders but does not know what to do when the leader is not there? What's the danger? That one person could mess up the whole organization, right?
Yes.
So to test whether you are an organization and everybody knows their job, you're going to do this again.
Oh my God.
Patah balik. Thank you for the suggestion. This time round, patah balik without any communication. No talking, no pointing, no looking, kaki pun tak boleh, bahu pun tak boleh, and tak boleh tunjuk Melayu. Alright? Because everybody knows how to do this, in complete silence, masing-masing tahu kerja masing-masing. Ready, set, no. Ready, set, go. No discussion. Start from there.
Walaupun kami ada employee kayu.
Gaji tak
Pernah kita bayar gaji tak boleh.
Apologize to your teammates for what have you done. And come back to your seats. Lapan tahun kot aku buat aktiviti ni tak pernah dengar orang communicate pakai ketawa. Sampai prosin ekstra ni. Okay, at your tables, everybody please look to me. I'll give you only 2 minutes to discuss in your team. What did you learn from that activity? Please write it down. 2 minutes, go. Alright, pause everybody. I realize I made a mistake. Let me rephrase the question. What did you learn about that from that activity about being a leader?
Clear instruction.
Discuss as a in the team.
What did you learn about that activity about being a leader?
No one drew anything. So some of them are very quiet.
One more minute to go.
Drawn a model, a roadmap,
So the leader should show the
Alright, I hear very good discussions. I do not want to hear what you discuss, but I'm going to predict what you discuss. Somebody must have said, we must have very clear instructions until they can demonstrate in front of us before they go and do it. Right? Somebody also said, we must make it safe for them to say they don't understand. Did somebody say that yet? No. Okay, so what here? We must make it safe for them to say, boss, I don't understand. Otherwise, they will go away and they try and they will fail and they get scolded again. Somebody must have said, we must trust them to be able to do their work without micromanaging them. Did somebody say that? Not yet? Somebody said, we must give them our tips. The ones that we learned dulu, we must mentor them, we must give them tips how to do this the best way possible. Yes, no? Somebody said that. Which team said that? Which team actually discussed that? Not at all. You generalize already. Okay. So when we talk about leading people, when we talk about being a leader to other people, what are the most important elements? It is the ability to share real results. What do I want from you? KPIs, outcomes.
To share,
Yeah?
to share.
Okay, so one of the most important elements is for us to share what we expect of them. I think that's better. What we expect of our people. The next thing is we must trust them to do the work. Because if you notice in your team tadi kan, there were some issues of distrust. Kau tak faham lah. Bukan macam tu lah. Macam ni lah. Main lah aku buat lah. Main dengar cakap aku pula lah. Rather than, okay, let's try your way. Let's test it out, see if it works. There must also be an element of, letting them figure it out themselves, but you standing by to help. And then last but not least, of course, there has to be an element of you sharing your own personal experience. Okay, macam ni lah, I tell you lah. When I dapat kerja macam ni dulu, okay, I buat search tau, and I found dalam buku ni ada this tip. You try this tip, tengok jadi tak. Have you done this before? Have you taught your subordinates before a fast way of doing something? Yes. Why? Why is that important?
Because we don't want they do the same mistake.
You don't want to make the same mistake again. What if you only keep doing that? What happens?
They will depend on you.
They will depend on you. So they don't have that life experience. What we do to our children sometimes, we give them the shortcut. They have never experienced a loss. Dia tak pernah rasa kekalahan, dia tak pernah rasa a failure, and they just keep winning. What happens? One day,
They fail,
they know what it feels like, they know what is this.
they break.
Right? So, there are different opinions here of how we should lead people. And everybody will have their own style of doing this. I would like to propose to you a way that combines all of those. And this is what we call, in some areas, we call it situational leadership. Situational leadership is a very old concept from 1970s, 1980s. Okay? You can still study that, but it's a bit different from what has been upgraded. So, Charter Oak Consulting, specifically, God, I can't remember his name now, John D.W. Beck. Okay, the book is referenced in the classroom. John D.W. Beck, under this company called Charter Oak Consulting, they put together something called L4, the Leader's Window. And the Leader's Window consists of 4 different leadership styles. Now, when you open the book, I have to forewarn you, when you open the book, Leader's Window, you will find that the positioning of these 4 styles are not like what you see on the screen. Okay, this is the book. Very difficult to get, but I'm trying to find a PDF for you. If you manage to find it, please tell us where you found it. So if you open this book, you'll find the positioning is different. For consistency's sake, I have mapped them to exactly where the social styles are. So when you are a particular social style, and that's your dominant opinion that, okay, people kena macam ni, orang sepatutnya macam ni, and you use that in a leadership context, it becomes a directing style, it becomes a delegating style, it becomes a developing style, it becomes a problem-solving style. So let me explain one by one, and I believe you already know this. What is directing style? It is high directive in nature. Listen to me. Okay? You don't stray from this. These are the 4 rules. Rule number 1, you are trains. Rule number 2, you can only go forward, cannot go backwards. Right? You langgar, you have to reset. Rule number 3 is, you must not sit on top of each other. Okay? Jalan. Go and do your work. That's what we call directing style, which is high directive, low support. What does support mean? Tell me the word. What is the meaning of the word support? Give money?
Guidance.
Give what?
Resources.
Resources. That means I give you all the money in the world. Go and solve this problem.
Money is not only the resources.
So what does the word support here mean?
SOP.
SOP? Okay. I give you all the SOP. Go and do. You do a fantastic job.
No, because in my line, facility management, as a facility manager, there are a lot of SOP to be followed.
Right.
Electrician, electrical, mechanical, civil, they have a standard. have to follow. If not, everything is going to be.
So force and directing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means it's high directing lah.
Yeah.
Something to follow is high directive. Therefore, what we mean by support is emotional support. Whenever you see the word support in this topic, it actually means emotional support. This team over here, when they were doing, they had one guy who was emotionally supporting everyone, whether they needed it or not. Remember this team over here? Yeah? He was the one who was most excited, most panicking. No, yeah. Almost done.
You know who you are.
Everyone knows now.
So he provided that emotional support, whether they needed it or not, he provided that. So here when we say support, we're talking about emotional support. So far so good?
Yeah.
Delegating is about trusting the other person. I know you can do this work. Go and figure it out. So, low directive, tak ada arahan langsung, tak ada bagian, tak ada support langsung. Nah, ni masalah, pergi selesaikan. Itu je. No KPIs, no output, no nothing. There's another style which is developing, which is high support. I trust you. I know you can do this work. I've seen you do this work before. And low directive. Whatever how you figure it out, okay, you need my help, only I'll help you, don't worry. I'm here to give you support. But lack of direction. Okay? How do you think you should do it? Macam mana? Ini support punya style ni. Agak-agak hampa punya idea macam mana kita nak selesaikan macam mana ni. So when there's low directive, do people get confused, frustrated? They get, I have no direction.
That's it.
Yes.
What if leaders are being elected due to their certification, but not to this kind of, like, we know that they are MIO, they are direct driver, that kind of thing. But how do we push that into being such a driving leadership? Where else?
What's the question again?
Most like in my line, FM, they are being selected due to their experience.
Correct.
So some, I met one reliable FM, they just follow the direction from JDR.
Okay.
But some are very like driving, okay, morning, ada morning briefing for everybody, that kind of thing, he knows what to do. So how do we like, I would say, remodule them into become the driving one?
Why do you need them to become a driving one?
It's better because they're going to need like 20 to 30 technicians.
Do they need to become driving all the time?
Yeah, if not the technician will go like.
So the answer will be coming soon next class.
Shambuddin, the former defense minister said, now MINDEF have no direction. The new defense minister did not give any direction to the people down there how to go forward in terms of defending Malaysia. So meaning that the leadership style of the present defense minister have less directive.
Well, the leadership style of the new director, the new minister, is actually problem solving. The problem with that is that he has no subject matter experience. He has no subject matter expertise, so he not provide direction pun tak boleh. So he does provide direction, but small things lah. Like, okay, let's do without this, let's do without this. But without subject matter expertise, you cannot actually move forward. You can be an expert football coach. I put you into facilities management. Expert. But you cannot provide high direction, right? Even though you are originally macam ni. So in this case, it's a mismatch of subject SME, subject matter expertise. You put him somewhere else, I'm sure he'll shine. But you put him there, it's not going to be as impactful. Okay, cool. So developing, you're very clear, very clear. Have you had some bosses who are developing? Tak apa, I trust you. You decide how you want to do this. I support you. I support you. Okay. Problem solving is the guy who sits next to you and does work with you. This kind of boss bagi kerja tapi tak tinggal. Duduk say, okay, bagi somewhere. Wow, this one very good. Have you had this kind of boss as well? Oh yes. styles on its own, on their own. On their own, when you overuse, can be very dangerous. Donald Trump is a directing style. He decides alone. He tells you what to do, when to do, why to do, how to do. And then he rewards you for complying. Very good. You get recognition for being for someone who complies orders. Okay? Delegators, like Bill Gates, the individual decides alone. You are a programmer. I brought you in because you have this certificate, you have this degree. Okay? Whatever problem comes to you, you solve it. You figure it out. Awak dah pandai. If you were not smart, I would have taken you in the first place. Maintains limited communication. Okay? You and I are not friends. You do your work, I do my work. I'm above you, yes. You report to me, yes. But apa-apa you buat, you tanggung. Not me. Betul? Driving, directing. Apa-apa you buat, I tanggung. So you buat betul-betul. Correct? Ini, they can throw you under the bus. Bos tanya, ni tak siap. Dia tak buat. These 3 people in my department tak buat. Dia complain kepada bos dia. Usually a boss protects their staff from the upper boss punya marah kan. Tak, yang ni they throw you on the bus. So it was these people's fault. Terus begitu. They acknowledge expertise and the bullet point should be there, I'm sorry. They acknowledge expertise and taking responsibility.
Sorry, the one
Yes.
that throws under the bus is?
The delegator.
Delegator.
Huh?
Tak guna dengan dia.
Good.
Tak guna dengan dia.
Some bagus. Very clear. Han tak buat. Han jawablah kat bos. Han jawab juga aku.
If I can remember, I watched one time from the Gates when they were talking about hiring.
Huh?
Well, I can't
Could you repeat
remember
that? I didn't get that.
I'm not sure whether it's him or I read it in another book for somebody else. They say that the most important point is when you hire people. If you
Yes.
hire the people that you want for the job that they can do with the skills that it needs, then the analytical can do that. Because you see, this is the skill I want, can you do this way? Then when they hire, they throw the person.
Yep.
So that's why when they say, you responsible, because I'm giving you all the freedom to do whatever you think is good. Because, as you said, I hire you because you have the skill, not only because you can program.
Right.
Because you claim you can even program better than anybody else. So
And
it's,
Bill Gates says, I don't hire people to follow my instructions. I hire people smarter than me.
this,
I hire people who are smarter than me to tell me what to do.
yes.
Not I tell you what to do.
That's why he is here, they can say you are responsible.
Correct. So, if you overuse that, what happens when you have someone who you see very good, strong potential, has no degree, has nothing, but you can see budak ni bagus. So that's what happens in the developer punya mindset. Okay, I can see you got potential. I'll take you anyway. So I'll slowly build you up.
Then you can move him up.
Yeah.
Then they move up to the next.
But I cannot give you work. I cannot trust you to do the work. I will guide you to do the work. Okay, so the individual, the staff, the employee decides alone, but with your support. You can coach them to understand. They use, or you use open-ended, powerful questions and active listening. So just a question, how many people know what coaching is? Please put your hands up. Coaching, okay. How many people are actual coaches? Please leave your hands up. Okay, 2 coaches, 3. Dr. Mazhar. I'm not sure, my coach. Any coaches there? Not at all. Tak ngaku. Luan. Jom. Come on. Okay, so when we think about coaching, coaching sits in this quadrant. Right? What does coaching do? Does it tell you the answer?
No.
Does it give you directions? No. What does it do? It asks questions to help you to think.
Not like because in academia, I practice this when they say pioneering project.
Yep.
So they will come to me, I will say, these are objectives we want to achieve. They go and they come back, we will, okay, what have you
You work it
done?
out, eh?
So why did you get this? Why not that? So it's actually, my style is that I know some other lecturers, they do it like, no, you do this, go back and come back to it. Okay, now, okay, do it. For me, I don't do that. And actually, as I'm coaching them, I expect them to, I can remember. My expectation is they go up to the next level.
So,
So,
not that they go up, because this is a leadership style, but you expect that they no longer need that spot.
Yeah, that's what I say. During your presentation, I'm off.
Mm.
You are on your own. I'm not going to defend
So
you.
I'm going to leave you to it.
I'm leaving it to you.
Thank you very much.
So what I do is that I coach on the way to make sure that they can be able to be on their own. So they have to be prepared for that.
Yes.
So
Anybody
what
have
is
the
the
same
end
result?
result?
It could
The
be
end
a
result
mix-
of
it could
your-
be a mixture of
your
both,
staff.
right? It could be a mixture of telling and also asking.
Yes. We make sure. Well, coaching, pure coaching is only asking.
But it could be, it's situational.
Yes, it's situational. So coaching, the word coaching itself
Sorry, yeah,
is purely just asking.
yeah, it's,
When you tell, then you come into this phase.
yeah.
You come into this leadership style, which is the manager, which is you. You own the decision, but with their input.
Because if I'm a new employee, I may not be very skillful and competent. So
Definitely.
therefore I meant to tell people more.
So it will be here, very high directive, here and here.